part of the African Crisis Initiative. In 2001, he worked at the Pentagon, survived the 9/11 attack while in the E-Ring, past Commissioner for Veterans Affairs in Anne Arundel County. I'm happy to present Patrick Crouse.
Both mics.
Both mics.
Okay, all right, I got it. Let's set it down. I got
This
it.
one you can flip on.
Roll it down. Can everyone hear me with my speaking voice as it is? Do I need a mic?
No. If you do.
Do I need a mic? Anyone that cannot hear me?
For this one you do.
Okay. All right. All right.
So everybody can hear
All right.
him?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Just want to make sure.
Who can't hear me?
Joe, right there.
Joe? All right, Joe, you can't hear me. Okay, can you hear me now, Joe?
Working on it.
All right, buddy. All right.
I got you.
You got me loud and clear. Joe, Lima Charlie, over.
Keep it up.
You're born. My name is Patrick Crouse, and I am very proud that, honored, I should say, that I was asked to come here and share this day with you. As Lindsay, is it Lindsay? Lori, as Lori pointed out, when we went to serve in Vietnam, we went as young men. I was 18 years old when I set foot in Vietnam, and I left high school in South Central Pennsylvania, and I come from the farm. I was brought up with God, family, and country. My father was in Normandy in World War II. My grandfather was in World War I with the 82nd. He served alongside Alvin York. And then my uncle served in war. Then it come my turn, our generation. It was a tumultuous time in our nation's history. We all served in the air, on the high seas, and on the ground. I served with the 173rd Airborne Brigade in the Shu Valley, in the northern part of Vietnam. I was inside 26 underground tunnels. I served in the infantry, and that's how I started my career. I was in triple canopy jungle. And I can tell you, the bugs were big and they had teeth. You laying there on the ground, you open your eye in the morning because you would always pray for the sunset to come up in the morning in the jungle. I look up and I see this bug looking down at me, and he had teeth and he was going like this. He wanted to eat me. So, we all have stories about our tour in Vietnam. Mine come from the ground, and I have a lot of friends I went to school with that were in the Navy, in the Air Force, in the Marines. And some of them did not come back home. For example, my classmate, Donnie Gearhart, class of 1968, off of the South China Sea, the USS Frank Evans, I believe it is, Franklin Evans, was cut in half by the Milborne in South China Sea. They were doing operations in order to go back to Vietnam. Cut the ship in half, and all those boys did not, they went down with the ship. Donnie was down in the sleeping berth. Lost friends in Quezon. Lost friends that actually died in my arms. All those things I hold dear today, and I made it back. I don't know how your welcome home was. You know, I had a family, and I got out of the service, but the Vietnam veteran was labeled by society. And it was unfair. And We've suffered for years and years with the ravages of Agent Orange. It's catching up with you. Some of you may have it. Some of you may have other symptoms. And I hope that you're all using your benefit, your VA benefits. Because certainly, each one of you are entitled to those benefits. And it's not a handout, gentlemen. You paid the price. You earned your citizenship. And I say that with all my heart because in today's time, these are things that we may not be able to talk about. But you, gentlemen, you earned that citizenship. You earned the right to say, I am an American, and I believe in my country, and I believe in my family. And I will represent my country to the best of my ability. And I will follow my calling to my God. I choose to call Jesus Christ. And that's the only warrior that ever saved me. Because I'm telling you, there are many times that I called out when I heard those bugles in the jungle at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning at 18 years old. It's spooky. It was the VC rallying their troops to come in and attack. And sometimes they wouldn't. But you would sit there in anticipation. Your heart would be going 180 miles an hour and you wonder. And then you call in for fire from the ships with big 16-inch, 20-inch guns. And the Air Force that would fly in on their missions that would come and get us. And those guys that flew the helicopters that come and got us. In the medicine, in the miracles that were performed on the battlefield to save lives. So much has happened. So many lessons have been learned in Vietnam, in the medical field. And I am a man that seeks peace and harmony in the world. I am also a man that will also still stand up for America and never apologize for it. There's a scene in Saving Private Ryan, and trust me, I do not watch war movies. I really don't, but I did watch Private Ryan. And it was so touching to me to see that, because it was an airborne troop, and I'm an airborne paratrooper. Yes, I jumped out of perfectly good airplanes at a high performance, at all environments. All times of day, total darkness, 120 pounds. And if you look at me, I'm lucky to weigh soaking wet 155 pounds to this day. All right? And this is the uniform that I wore 25 years ago. Believe it or not, I still fit in it. Now, how about that? The life of an airborne paratrooper. These are the values that I've always held dear. I never apologize for them. It's airborne all the way. And in the Private Ryan, at the closing scene, and I'm sure, how many of you seen Private Ryan? Please raise your hand. Private Ryan. Okay. The final scene, and it could be any one of you walking into Arlington, or it could be me. And when I see that sign, and I look out here, I want to know, when my time comes in, I hope I've lived a good life. I hope I've earned it. I hope I'm a good man. To each one of you that served, you've lived a good life. And you were good men. I'm sure many of you raised families and have children and have grandchildren. And you need to tell them about your service to America. You need to tell them the values that you learned as a young man. You pass that on to your grandchildren, please. Anything else, you tell them their grandfather served America and they put others first. And you come back home and you build a life and you were successful. And I'm sure everyone had their trials and tribulations. But here we are today. And I wish each one of you welcome home, brothers. Are there any women here that served in Vietnam? I gotta ask, any women that served in the service? Okay. So at this time, there's a Vietnam commemoration pin. Okay? You are among the 600,000 or so living veterans in America, Vietnam veterans, that are still vertical. It's not very many, guys. We're a dwindling population. And doggone it, as the sun sets on us, sure in hell can be proud of who we are and what we represent. And you're America's finest. God bless each one of you. And thank you for this opportunity. And for all those Vietnam veterans, if you could kindly stand up, I have something that I would like to give to you. Personally. It's the Vietnam commemoration pin. I will put my mask on, and I will come around to each one of you and give you a pin if time permits.
It does.
All right, thank you.